Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be a video about, again, the storm system that's going to be occurring across the United States. It's really going to be affecting portions of southern Canada as well. So if you're a viewer from southern Canada, stay tuned. We'll be talking about that as well. And again, if you guys would like to subscribe to this channel, go ahead. I do all sorts of weather-related content. I'm a hobbyist, not a meteorologist. I want to make that clear. For official forecasts, go to the National Weather Service, go to NOAA, go to National Hurricane Center. This channel is just merely for the fun of it, with the hope of being somewhat accurate. That actually kind of perfectly describes it. But if you guys are a returning viewer, you could consider liking the video, as that would help out a lot. If not, perfectly fine. Let's move on. So let's look at the GFS model. The GFS model is a global forecasting system, and it's often used for tracking storms across the North American continent, and it does a pretty decent job. It has a reputation of being a bit, I guess, much of a overhyper. It overhypes things, storms, events. And that's why we also look at other models to see where this one gauges compared to the other ones, kind of like to see where we could find the in-between. Recently, the GFS has been doing a pretty good job. It only a few times really hasn't been doing a really good job. But lately, it's been doing, again, like I said, a pretty good job. And let's take a look at this. So right now, the storm of interest is taking place right off British Columbia. It just made landfall today, and it will continue making landfall into tonight. But really, the energy from this system is already onshore. And let's go back to the North American view, the whole North American continent, as that gives us a better view of the storm. Hopefully I could zoom in on this. This may give us a better view of this as it is zoomed out. Again, this is the focus right here, this little swirl. See, you can see the energy made impact on land. It made landfall, if you will. And again, it's not a hurricane, so I guess it's not. Landfall maybe have a negative connotation. This is just a weak energy source. It turns into a pretty strong storm, though. You can see that we really start seeing a lot of this energy start disrupting itself, and we see a lot of energy, again, a lot of energy transfer into the kind of south of the storm, and that's where thunderstorms and showers really start erupting across North Dakota, Minnesota. There's actually a slight severe weather risk today, tomorrow, Friday. Today, Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday, there's all at least slight to enhanced risks. So it goes to show you that this is going to be a multi-day event, and you can see that while the storm, I guess, has a few days of development, you can see it to tomorrow and Saturday, it really intensifies right here across Monday, and this storm is kind of, I guess, energy that still is yet to make impact. So it's almost like a combination of two pieces of energy. You can see it really does a nice swirl here, like nice cold front develops Monday, and this storm kind of then breaks apart, and we see this energy that was originally started by the storm kind of continue by itself into the northeast into Tuesday and Wednesday. But really the most impactful will be across the Midwest during this time frame, and in my opinion the European does a better job of showing this. The GFS is kind of all over the place, but that's because the GFS has a harder, it has a harder time, or the viewer that sees the GFS usually has a harder time seeing what it does, because it's kind of all over the place, has these weird spots, and the circulation usually isn't as close. But notice that even after this storm passes, we see quite a bit of events going on, some even larger storms possible. So this is definitely, we're getting into an active, time of the year where we could start seeing bigger storms. It is still August, right? And usually when we talk about the large fall storms, like the beasts, we talk about October and November, but they definitely do occur. I guess August is probably like we start seeing some features in the storms that could remind us of the bigger storms. But really, it's by September, late September, do we really start them actually starting to occur. And the storms that I'm talking about are, the fall storms that could have huge winds, lots of rain, and even if it is cold enough and late enough in the year, some snow. But notice that we also have active Pacific Ocean. This doesn't really pose much of a danger to the U.S. Or really any land, as it's out in the ocean. But again, it looks as if the tropics, they just updated their forecast. I think the Colorado University and several other agencies, including NOAA, our National Hurricane Center, and they're expecting an even more active season than they previously thought. So, we all saw Tropical Storm Isaias, and how it was just a tropical storm, a hurricane when it went through the Carolinas, but then tropical storm as it moved up to the northeast, and the damage and the amount of rain that fell was just still, it was impactful to say the least. So definitely not to take that lightly. Also notice we start seeing some more blues at this time of the year up here. You can see that around the 384 hour However, we get freezing temperatures as far south as some cities as Calgary, and that definitely is not out of the question. You can see this is now August 20th, so at that time of the year, we start seeing this type of stuff. Let's go to the European model. Actually, first let's look at the total accumulated precipitation. I don't want to go jumping from model to model, so if we're already on a GFS, let's just stick with the total accumulated precipitation. And I want to just show you what's going to occur from this storm by itself, not just the, the next 10 days, because a lot of, I guess, uncertainty is in that. We have more certainty in the first storm occurring, and hopefully this can load. If not, then I'll just take you to the GFS, or to the European. The GFS, I think it definitely shows less precipitation than what the European does. European shows a bit more in some, yes, more isolated areas, which is a bit more realistic, as that's what usually happens during the summertime. Let's look at the European, as the GFS is reluctant to load. Oh, there we go. You can see this is now through Tuesday, so really not awfully a lot of rain, widespread rain, but in the areas where it's going to be more concentrated, it could fall pretty heavily. You can see up to 4 or 5 inches definitely across these pockets. Generally, though, if you get under a thunderstorm or even 2 thunderstorms in a row, you will get up to 4 inches, and that could cause some flooding. But it's generally the flooding, the heavy rain, kind of the same thing, and the hail and the winds that will go with this, especially the winds. It really seems like the tornadoes aren't going to be that big of a threat. Let's look at the European model. Again, I would look at the North American continent view on this European model as well, but unfortunately this website doesn't have that option available, but that's perfectly fine. Let's just look at the one that has the US. And we are seeing showers and scattered thunderstorms across the Northeast right now. Again, that is causing some flash flooding. There are flash flood watches across the Mid-Atlantic, the DC area, into portions of southern Jersey. And really, they aren't awfully too powerful. They aren't awfully widespread either. It's just the fact that, these areas were just absolutely hammered by Tropical Storm Isaias. So whatever rain they do receive will be a rain that they don't need, and that will just kind of basically cause flooding and unnecessary problems. So you can see that the showers continue through in the eastern United States, but at the really the evening hours of tomorrow, we start seeing some pretty large lines of thunderstorms develop across the Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, really portions of southern Canada. Now this is into Manitoba. I'm pretty sure that's Manitoba. I always get these two confused, so I apologize for the Canadians out there. I know British Columbia, Alberta. I think this is Saskatchewan, Manitoba. That's how it goes. But notice that this probably develops into more of a singular line, and usually when we see a feature like this, we associate this with stronger winds, some hail for sure, but generally the stronger winds and flooding rains, and that's definitely enough of a concern. You can see the European really takes this storm and really produces quite a bit of rain across portions of really the northern provinces of these provinces of Canada. Across, I don't really know what that lake is, I'm sorry, but right there, probably on the level of James Bay, Hudson Bay. But again, the impacts extend all the way into the southern United States, or as south as the United States. And you can see during Saturday we see another cluster, this time in Iowa, and as soon as things may seem to calm down, we see Sunday come along. The storm kind of moves back to the south. If you notice that, it's up here, then it kind of moves back to the south and sends another kind of ripple of thunderstorms into Monday and Sunday, and it could definitely continue into Tuesday, and you could see that into portions of Toronto, probably seeing some rain out of this. Montreal, Ottawa, all these cities right here definitely are on the threat for these showers, as well as the Northeast. New York City, maybe even parts of the coastal area, seeing some rain out of this. And again, this isn't a widespread event like a fall storm would be, but it's more of a event where if you get under one of these bad boys, you could get 3 to 4 inches of rain easily, and that could easily cause flooding. And then you could see that in the future we also see more storms out of the European. So definitely an active I guess period, but not overly active. I would say normal for this time of the year. Really, it's better to put, but just because it's normal doesn't mean it's harmless. So that's definitely a thing we should pay attention to. Let's look at a total accumulated precipitation from the European model. Hopefully it loads a bit quicker than what the GFS did. And it did indeed. So you can see this is what we have through Tuesday and Wednesday in terms of rainfall. You can see that the European puts out a bit more precipitation and a bit more widespread area. You could see if the bands were to form, the widespread, possibly derecho-like storms. Derechos are a very, very specified classification to be derecho. You can't just call a single squall line a derecho, but that's why I said derecho-like, because it kind of looks like one, doesn't mean it will be. But notice some areas could get easily an inch, 2 inches, and if you get over a certain band, like here in the northeast, you can see it shows 3 inches, 4 inches easily, and some pockets in the southeastern United States as well. The West, very dry, and unfortunately that's going to be the case, and we don't want to see that. We usually like seeing rain across these areas, especially when they're in a drought. They're in a very bad drought right now. The Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, Utah area, the Four Corners area, and really extended into Texas and Nevada, the West, and they need rain, and unfortunately they're not really going to get that. But you can see where the rain does fall, it could be pretty plentiful. As we go through 240 hours, you can see again just the contrast grows. The eastern United States keeps seeing more rain, while the West just stays dry, and it really it's not looking good. But, hopefully we could get more of a wetter pattern. Unfortunately, with the La Nina potentially developing, usually winters don't stay awfully wet across those areas. But every La Nina is slightly different, so hopefully we could get that changed up. But again, it looks as if right now the eastern U.S. is definitely favored for it. You can see portions of southern Canada really also seeing rain, and portions of, you can see this is Saskatchewan, northern Saskatchewan, just seeing lots of rain, lots of rain, and that's associated with that big storm actually spinning over there and staying in place, the core, kind of like the vortice of that storm, while the impacts you can see still extend into the southern United States, or as south as the central and southern United States. Let's go to Storm Prediction Center. I know we're running out of time. I like to keep these videos under like 14-15 minutes. But you can see that we are seeing plenty of pop-up thunderstorms across the northeast, especially across the front range of the Rockies as well. And you can see that today there's not really big of a risk for thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms. Tomorrow we see a slight across that area, North Dakota, Minnesota, where we could start seeing some of those squall lines. Some bigger cities, Fargo, Bismarck, Grand Forks. Even if you're in a marginal, don't dismiss this as, oh, we're not going to see a rain or severe weather. You still may see a thunderstorm that could damage and destroy things. Then you could see, not saying you will, but saying that the possibility is there. So, better be safe than sorry. Always have a plan and keep your eyes to the sky. This is day 3, so this is now into Saturday. You can see we see a slight area across northern Nebraska and southern South Dakota. And if we were to put this into Monday or Sunday, I don't know if they have one. Sunday they have just severe, and you can see it's a general broader area. And I wouldn't be surprised if they include enhanced for one of these days, as it looks as some of these storms could be pretty bad. Again, just the best thing you could do is stay prepared, keep your eyes on the sky, have a plan, keep your eyes on the radar as well, listen to National Weather Service for advisories, warnings, and watches, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. So this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. See ya. Bye.